this is Sue at Miller's Laboratory. Are you ready to do a pop-up? I'm so excited for this series, and it sounds like a lot of you are too. I hope it can live up to your expectations here. But tonight we're just going to learn something very basic and then a couple of variations on it. This particular pop-up that you're going to learn tonight, if it's the only one you ever do, you're good, because you can do so many things with it. So first of all, let's start with your book. I hope everybody has a book to use. If you were able to find one that is the stab binding or the side stitch binding, then you're just going to tear a couple of pages out. So I like to leave one or two at the beginning, okay? And then if you want to try to use your ruler here to help, you can, just to tear against that, or you can just rip it out. But we're just going to take out 2 or 3 pages here to make some space. Okay, I'll do 3. This particular book that I chose is a kind of a big book, and we're all going to have a little bit of variation here because depending on the book that you chose. And it has, these pages are a little bit thicker, so to take out 3 is plenty for me. For your book, you might want to take out more or less, and you'll kind of learn as you go. You know, if you take out a couple tonight, that's just totally fine. All right, now, if you didn't find a book with that type of a binding and you're dealing with a regular bind book, don't worry, you can use that too. We just don't want your whole book to fall apart if you're tearing pages out of it. So I'm going to show you how to take care of that really quick. So I'm going to open this up again, same thing, open up a couple of pages here. And when I tear a page out, I'm going to leave a little bit there, you know, like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or whatever, a little bit of space, okay? Go ahead and tear it out, okay? So I have a little bit of a flop there, a little flop. I'm going to glue that down, okay? And that's just going to keep the whole binding intact and keep the book from eventually falling apart because you're kind of ripping the whole binding apart. So there. So now we've just fixed that little problem, and then we would go ahead and tear out another one and do the same thing. Okay, let's do one more together here. Oh, look at that one, it just came out all by itself. So you know what happens when the whole page comes out like that. There's going to be another one on the other side now that's just loose. I wonder if that's a page that I had already torn out for something, because that was crazy how easy that came out. Oh, there we go. That was the middle of the signature. So that one was the middle of the signature, and it's just done. All right. We'll just do one more here. All this is going to do is keep those pages tied together around the stitching so that stuff doesn't do what just happened. When one page is torn all the way out at the edge, then it's tearing another page out. It's taking out 2. Okay. There's that. Okay, so you can work either way here and you will be just fine. Actually, what I need to do here then is tear out this one, and then we'll have our space. I did that wrong, sorry guys. We're going to actually have like 3 together here. There we go. All right. So now all those pages were in here, but now it's just space. Okay? All right. I'm going to go back to my other book. Okay. We're going to open up to the pages that I prepared. All right. And I want you to grab your paper that you decided to use to do your constructions. You can use the papers you just tore out of your book if you want. What I'm going to be using is this is just printer paper that so it was this way, the long way, and I cut it in half and then in half again. So I've got these strips. I've got quite a few of them here, okay? So I want you to get yourself several of those. Take 2 or 3. 2 pieces of paper is fine for tonight, and get a whole piece so I can, okay, So we're going to cut it in half this way, and then we're going to cut it in half, the two pieces in half here and here, so we have quarters. Okay, so pause the video, go do that if you need to, and come on back. All right. Okay, so we're going to make this very basic pop-up, which I think is called a box pop-up, but I call it a W, and here's why. We're going to take this long piece of paper and we're going to fold it in half the long way. Okay, we have a tent. See that? Okay, and then we're going to take and turn it, and we're going to fold up a little bit on the bottom here. Now this is going to vary. It could be a tiny, tiny amount, or it could be really wide. But for right now, I just want you to do like, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, whatever you like. And then you're going to flip it over and you're going to fold the other side up the same amount. So what you have is like a W or a V with little wings on the top. Okay, we're going to think of it this way. It's a tent, and these two little pieces at the bottom are the stakes, or what hold the tent down to the ground. Okay? All right, now I want you to do 2 more exactly the same. So we're going to take 2 more pieces of paper and we're going to fold them in half. And then we're going to make the little legs. And I want you to make the legs the same, because this first page that we do is so you have a comparison. So I'm just making a little mark with my nail there so I can see where to fold that. And then we'll do the other one the same way. Now, for this type of a pop-up, it is important that your creases are neat. So we know this one is going right down the middle, and it's important that this is parallel to it. We're working with a rectangle, which makes that really easy to do. When we get into some other shapes, I'm going to show you some cheats of how to make sure your folds are parallel. Because otherwise, when you open up your pop-up, it's going to be kind of skewed. And there are times when you might want that, but for right now, we do not. Okay. Okay. So we have three of these little tents. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to just set 2 of them aside for now, and I want you to take the washi tape I told you about. And when I said washi tape, I meant your ugly washi tape that you don't like, okay? And only reason I'm using washi tape is because I can stick it and then remove it. It's removable. So if you don't have any washi tape, you can use Scotch tape. Just take your piece of Scotch tape, stick it on your arm, and then peel it off, and that will take a lot of the stickiness off, and then you can reverse it. Okay? All right. So I am putting tape on the top of each leg. Okay? So the tape comes over the edge here on both sides. Now we have a tent with sticky legs. Okay? All right. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to randomly right now, I'm going to collapse this whole thing, and I'm going to fold the tape edges up. So now we have this flat thing, and the sticky part is here, okay? And I want you to put it on your page somewhere, kind of away from the edge a little, or the middle a little bit, okay? And stick it down. It's only stuck down on one side, but we're going to take our page now. We're going to close it over the top so it sticks down on the other side. Okay? All right. Now, when we open the page, it's going to pop up. See that? Just like that, you have made a pop-up already. Simple, simple. All right. Now, what do we like about this and what do we not like about this? Well, if this was some kind of an image, it's very it's very pointy, okay? So we would want it to be spread out more. So I'm going to go ahead and peel it off, okay? And the way that we make our tent spread out more is that we pull the legs apart. All right? Okay. So think about how this pop-up worked when we put it on the page. It was folded up like this. Okay. The bottom page is here and the top page is here. And when we open it up, it opens up the pop-up. Okay. So if we move the tent farther away from the spine and hinge it there, when it opens up, it's going to be more flat. Hope that makes sense. So remember where you put your tent the last time, and now I want you to bring it all the way out to the edge of your page. Now this may or may not work depending on how big your book is. I'll show you. We're going to go ahead and close it again. Okay, and we're going to open it up. And now it's super flat, right? Super flat. Okay, so what I want you to do, if you have room on your page, is I want you to go ahead and put all 3 of these in. We're going to put, okay, let me just back up a second here. What happens if, when you did that, I'm going to move mine out farther. Let's try it this way, okay? What happens if when you tried to open it, you can't open the page all the way? Because the tent isn't, there isn't enough tent, okay? All right. That is sort of like the first mathy thing that you have to know, and it's not a lot. So don't freak out. Okay, but the sides of your tent are this much. They're this tall, okay? And if you bring the bottom of the tent out farther than that space, there isn't enough space to open it up all the way. So a simple guideline for you when you're putting a pop-up in a book is to just lay this, it's all folded up, lay it right up against the gutter of your book and make a little pencil mark there. Okay? Now that line is my dividing line. I cannot have the bottom of my tent farther away from the gutter than that, because if I do, I won't have enough room to open it all the way up. Okay? Or it's just totally flat. That's not a very fun pop-up because it's just totally flat. Okay? So it has to be at least a little bit this way from that pencil line. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and glue down one. Oh, there goes the glue. That is almost to the limit of that. Okay? And I want you to really sit and play with that a little bit, okay? That's what the washi tape is for, is so that you have, it's reversible. Whatever you do here, it can be taken back out. I want you to really play with that. Put your thing on the page, close it, open it up, and see where it winds up, okay? You can also put it on crooked if you want to. Close the page, open it up, and see what it does, okay? That's your experimentation there. But for your book, I want you to have a little example of how this works if you put it at different levels. So I glued, did you see I put glue on that? And now I'm going to put glue on the top leg. And we're just relying on the glue now to hold it instead of the tape. Excuse me. Okay. So there we go. There's our pop-up here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off. I don't need the tape on there anymore. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and glue the other 2 pop-ups on, getting progressively closer to the gutter. So This one you can see was right here. So this next one I'm going to put like about here, we'll say. Oops. It is important too not to be getting glue in the wrong places. All right, we'll just kind of go right about there. And put the glue on the top. And close. And open. Okay, so you can see what happens here. This one is taller and skinnier, and then we're going to do one more that'll be even taller and skinnier. Now if you're excuse me, if you cut your paper and it doesn't fit, you can't fit 3 of them on here, then just cut them a little bit narrower. Okay, that's easy to do. Whatever you need to do. This is just so that when you open your book and look at it, you can go, okay, this gives me some kind of a concept of the difference that it makes based on where I place it on the page. Okay, so close one more time. We will open. All right. And there we have our 3 examples, okay? Same paper, same fold, just put it in a different spot on the page. So, depending on what the image is that you're working with, I will just kind of say, generally, I would like something more like this, because when I open it up, I want to be able to see the image clearly. If it's like this, you know, you'd have to turn it sideways to look at it and see what it is. And I don't really want to do that. But this is good so you know, and or if something's not working out, you can go, why isn't this working? And if you just look at this page, you can write a note. Same size paper. Same fold. Different distance from gutter, okay? There you go. Now someday you'll open it and you'll go, what is this? Why did I do this? Just so you could see, okay? All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this up. And I'm going to turn another page or 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and tear another spot. Because, I mean, I want to show you what you can do with this. Okay, all right. So I cut some images, real simple images that I could use to, because I want to demonstrate what it actually looks like when you're doing something in a book. And I want you to know that all of the images I'm going to use in this whole series, I'm going to get them from the Graphics Fairy, the free site. So I'll put the link to that in the description below. And if you see an image that you like if you want to use the same one in your book, you can just go to that site and search for butterflies or whatever, and you'll be able to find what you want. Okay. All right. So I just took this piece of paper and I folded it in half down the middle. It's exactly what we did on our trial one. Okay. This one. All right. Okay. Now we're going to take and we're going to make some legs on each side. And I want to fold this as neatly as I can. We want it to be quite parallel to this center fold. Now, if you have a hard time judging that, I understand that. Here's a couple ways that you can cheat it very easily. Number 1, you can use your text. Okay? So your text is straight lines. And if you have a hard time, you can just line up that fold with the bottom of the letters on a line, and then you can fold up and keep that straight with a line underneath. Okay? You can also use lined paper that way, or graph paper if you have it. But you don't have to have anything because you can use what's in your book. As long as you have text in there, you can use that. So I folded that one way, and I'm just going to fold it the other way now. Okay. Now, you don't have to put these examples in your book if you don't want to. Or what you might want to do is just put your instructional things in the front, and then like for that page you can go all the way to the back and you can put some examples back here, and you could write a note on that page and say see page 190 for examples. Okay, that way you can just keep going with the sample part, and then you can play around with the examples as much as you want to. All right, so this is going to go in here like this. Okay, I'm going to just tuck this into the fold, and I know that I don't want it any farther out than that. Okay, this is just a little pop-up for such a big page. What I often might do for this one actually is use a flip. Let's do that. Okay, so let's say I have a flip in this book. All right, let's just mark where my fold is. Okay, and we don't want to be any closer than that line, and we're not going to be. I'm going to come out as far as I can without it poking out, because I want it to be a surprise. I don't want people to know it's there, so I'm going to tuck it underneath there like that, and we'll put the glue on. And I don't know, oh my, see, I'm way over on time already than what I wanted to be. Okay. All right, we're going to open this up. We're going to put the glue over here on the other side. Okay, and I'm going to close that back up. Give it a good press. And I should wait a minute or so, but I'm not going to. We open it up, and there is our pop-up. Okay, so it's something as simple as that is going to look really cool. And if you never did anything else other than that, you'd be doing great. So I think I'll stop there, and next week we're going to play some more with the same design, and I'll show you a lot more variations. So I hope you have fun working with us a little bit this week, and I will see you soon. Bye.